everybody, welcome to the channel for new battle report. I had a bit of a short break with vacation, but I'm back with the third game of the French Interregio. We were facing Ile-de-France 0, which is basically the Paris region, was probably one of the main competitors for the title. So definitely a huge round for us. It was the type of moment in the tournament when you will know after the round which team is going to be favorite for the win, basically. So we really wanted to perform well in this round. The pairing went quite good, as you can see. I ended up getting a positive matchup against the Beast Herd, so I was really looking forward to that. Other than that, we expected a couple of drawish matchup, 2 positive and 1 slightly negative, so was overall quite positive after the pairing. This is my list, this is my opponent's list. So he was playing an MSU type of Beast Herd list, quite unusual for me at least. I haven't faced it in a while or anything similar. But as you can see, he has like 5 Chariot, 2 Razor Tusk Chaff, 2 Giant, 2 Ambushing Longhorn, plus another unit of Ambushing Wildhorn with Shooting Weapon. Then he has a big block of Mongrel, Beast Lord, which is not fighty, a Chieftain that is fighty. Is going to be also the BSB of the army. So that was basically his list, and the usual Master Release plus Great Totem Bearer, so we know about the magic. We were playing all the ground, and down or so, and below you have the spell selection of both of us. Nothing special to mention here. So this is an MSU type of Beast Herd list, quite unusual recently for me at least. I haven't seen it in a lot in the scene. Bastion should be strong in the matchup. I felt he can throw at me multiple threats, but I should still be able to hold most charges. I avoid any risky combo charges, especially avoid getting charged in the flank, in the back, and so on, as usual. But also, there are 2 risky combo charges with a lot of ranks of the Mongrel, for example, in the corner, that could break my steadfast, stuff like that. Range damage, as usually, when you face an MSU and you play blocks like I do, you need to reduce the disparity in the amount of threats. Basically, he has much more threats than me, so I need to kill one chariot after the other to basically reduce his impact and combat power and be able to move forward in the map, which could be an issue. Something that I definitely underestimated in the matchup is my ability to move forward, considering the fact that I might need time to kill those units. Careful about the ambush. Overload can be a good way to get rid of them. And I rated the matchup before it as a positive matchup. Deployment, I won the roll for side, and my opponent elected to let me start, so he elected to play second. So I'm going to drop for first turn since he has a lot of unit. I cannot really play the drop game, so I place on the left the Rocket Battery Titan that can move around the impassable and get some clean shots. He has no cover train here on the left, so I felt this is the best way to go. Right side would be a bit problematic with the wall potentially, so I felt left might be better. Then I play Slave, Vassals, the Bastion unit, Lugar Brick. We have behind that my vassal unit, so I try to place all my scoring in the middle like I usually do on all the ground. Then we have some more vassals, we have the second titan and the overlord on the far right. And for him, he plays the 2 giants, so this is after Vanguard, so most of the stuff Vanguard due to the pillager icon. So he plays the 2 giants on the right, then he has the spear Mongrel in the back, the bunker. Those guys were the 2 Razor Tusk because there is a single mount. Then we have raiding, Razor Tusk Herd, and the BSB unit here on the left. Let's go. Turn 1, Infernal Dwarves. So I move forward with my slave to basically chaff chariot and centaurs. So centaur chaffed, this chariot is chaffed, and those 3 chariot and the Razor are free. This one as well. I felt it's not going to be an issue. He can charge me at max. I will try to kill one of the chariot, obviously with magic and shooting. But if I don't, at max he can charge me with 3 chariot, which I should still be able to hold, and I have counter charge set up in place. I'm able to get my Kadim Titan in a good position shooting, so he has Dark Rain, it's not going to be easy to hit, but you never know. My Bastion as well within 12 to get boosted Gravecall. And here I decided not to move forward with the Lugar, which we can talk about. I wasn't sure I'm able to hold 3 or 4 chariot, potentially a giant, if I get too close to the center. I felt that might be too much for them, so I felt not the right moment. We can discuss whether or not I could have sent, if you see from the starting position, I could have potentially do the same that I did on the left, which I think could have made sense to just say, push the slave 12, I place them here in the middle, and we will see after what we do. Basically to force him or encourage him to engage me with a giant or a chariot and then try to get into combat. But I picked basically a more defensive or safe strategy due to lack of knowledge in the matchup basically. I get a good magic and shooting phase between a breath weapon and the shooting under Dark Rain. I'm able to get rid of one of the raiding chariot, which was really nice. And I also got the ward save on the Bastion in case he wants to charge me. His turn. I didn't really understand why, but he decided to charge with 4 chariot plus a Razor Tusk into the slave. But it's going to create sort of a traffic jam here on the left, which I felt totally okay with. I realized the first mistake on my part, which is he was able to chaff me with Razor Tusk and keeping me out of the center. So I felt I should have been a couple of inch, like 2 inch more forward, which was basically the same kind of risk position, or considering the risk, basically the same positioning, but I would have been close to the center to scoring from turn 2. Now if I charge it, I'm still out of the center, which is an issue. So we will see. And basically on the right, he keeps the stalemate and he engages heavily on the left. So we'll see how that goes. He gets a fly move on something and also Stone Skin, I think, on the Razor Tusk. And those guys enter the board. I think he put maybe Hereditary on them to avoid them fleeing, or just give them Fearless to avoid getting shot and panicking and so on. So he entered the board in a very good spot, in the right formation. I think he made that really good, because basically he can get flank, he can get plenty of stuff, and it's not so easy for me to chaff him while avoiding him to charge this unit here. So he trapped those guys very well. And basically, as you can see from turn 1, I forgot to mention, but I moved my Overlord back to protect my backline because I forgot a little bit about it during deployment. And basically entered one part of the board where I couldn't really protect the zone. So he entered my only weak spot, so to say. Slightly annoying. We will see how I can deal with that. My turn 2. I elected, and I think it's heavily debatable, so he got rid of the slaves. He needed to overrun with this chariot, because if he doesn't, you can see the kind of trouble that he would have. So he needed to overrun, which basically blocked this Razor Tusk chariot as well, and the centaurs behind. So we have here a perfect traffic jam on the left. And I think my movement choices are, I think, the most criticizable stuff or debatable stuff, decision that I make in this battle. Because basically, I elected to retreat and manage safely, kill some more chariot, and profit from the traffic jam by killing those two chariot, and then saying I can move afterwards. But basically, it's not the best option to move on the center. I'm a bit far away, and I didn't get rid of the chaff in close combat. Furthermore, the general was quite far away. The BSB is in range, but we have low leadership. It's, I think, leadership 6 rollable for both on terror check. So I think one charge, what I should have made, I think when seeing the picture, would have been charge with this Kalim Titan first. There is a chance that he failed the 6 rollable. If he does, it's creating another panic check, most likely on this one, again on 6 rollable, which can potentially get rid of those two guys with one charge, which then makes the Bastion free to do plenty of stuff. So I think that could have been the first solution. If he holds that one and passes the 6 rollable, then fine. I can do the same with the Bastion afterwards on this one. Charging it, it's again a 6 rollable on the terror, which he might fail as well. If he fails it, I could have potentially charged on the chariot. It's not an easy charge, but still moved me forward. It's another terror check. Do we want to hold? Which chariot I'm going to charge? I have plenty of options, I think, to attempt a long charge that could put me in a right spot. So I think I have multiple options to get rid of those chaff in close combat, which would have been better, because here I'm basically losing ground and keeping chaff alive, which is not good because it allows him to get the center. And as you can see, I'm able to move the Lugar in the middle to get out of charge range of everything on the left, but it's one scoring and he has easily 2 that he can put in the middle without being threatened too much. So I think here, definitely not the best choice. Here I didn't find a way to escape with those guys, so he did a pretty good job by making sure that with the formation that he has, if I chaff with the Titan, he was able to wheel and contact those guys first and so on. So he had plenty of options, and I didn't find a way to move out, so I basically just used those guys because he can also charge me with Chariot. So I just used those guys to chaff. I could have potentially been 5 wide and looked that way. I think that would have been better. Basically, he can chaff me in the flank, and I have the Overlord to punish him. that's basically the best I found. Let's move on to the magic phase. So what I did on this turn, he bind control the Grave Call because I was within 12 of the chariot. I'm able to kill one chariot and do 3 wounds to the other one, so he's alive with the second one, but I decided not to kill the chaff, which is again debatable, I think, here. So on his turn, he elected, to my surprise, to charge here with the chariot with 1 wound remaining, plus the Tusk Herd into the Titan, which can potentially be risky. If I kill both this round, then I'm free to charge. Okay, my post-combat pivot is limited heavily by the house, but still I see plenty of stuff that I could charge. Starting first with this chariot overrun here. I have plenty of stuff that I could do, so okay, very interesting. This Razor Tusk, since it was alive, it was able to chaff my Lugar, which allows him to safely push in the middle with everything. And one turn before, you saw he had a bit of a mess. I mean, a bit of an unstructured battle line. Those guys couldn't reform properly. Here it has traffic jam. So basically all the left is a mess and the right hasn't pushed much, which was basically the perfect moment for me to push a bit more. And now, as we can see, he formed again a proper battle line with all his threat looking at me, and it's going to be much harder now to push for me. Magic phase, you get -2 weapon skill on this Kadim Titan, which makes sense. I dispel Stone Skin, and he gets also Fearless on the Razor Tusk to avoid to fail the fear check. Close combat, he managed to do some wound. I do only 2 wounds on the Razor Tusk, but I fail to kill the Chariot. And here I charge those guys, he break them, but doesn't run them down, which is really nice for me. My turn 3, I charge with the Overlord here, decided to flee. I redirect onto the Razor Tusk, which I makes, I think, on a 9 Swift Ride. Rally those guys. Yeah, I move slightly back. Cannot really charge the chaff. Too many things looking at me. I cannot really move forward as well, so I elected to move away. It's going to be 2 down on the old ground, but I still have time. My bet is basically to get rid of more Chariot this round, and the next round I need to be able to push forward slightly. I think this Titan, I've been quite defensive with it due to the fact that he could do 14 tomorrow, right, which I wanted to avoid. Could have potentially tried to push him a bit more and angle towards that way. I don't know. I was afraid that he would also potentially push then 14 in the middle and create a huge traffic jam in the middle with Giant pushing and stuff, and the Titan being out of position to countercharge. So I kept the Titan all the time to zone those 2 guys. I felt okay with this trade-off. Again, I think we can discuss about it, but felt the right decision at the time. In my magic phase, I get Breast Weapon and Ward Save on the Bastion. I think, did I kill Chariot? I think I killed this one. Combat, I killed those 2 guys. And that was it. What I could have done, but I think I've tried to show here what I could have done. Reform those guys 5 wide, do a colon, but here again, there is this risk of the charge of the Chariot that could potentially... I'm not sure about the Vassal, if it was doable or not on turn 3. At least Bastion and Lugars, at least Bastion felt like it was possible. Lugars, I don't know, potentially too. So maybe I gave away the center a bit too easily. I felt this round is less debatable at the last round. I think round 2 was definitely a mistake. Here, it's a possibility. I think I could have tried to stay on it, force him to bring a 3rd scoring unit. Because as you can see, I didn't force him to do it, and now with 2 it's enough, and he can start to retreat. So I think here, again, I misunderstood a bit the situation and lacked experience on the matchup. His turn 3, unfortunately, he rallied. I needed to look this way with the Overlord because the Centaurs could have charged me last round. If I looked in the flank, he can just charge me in the flank, and then it's huge combat res that I don't want to take this risk. But now he rallied on 7, and I need to hunt him down. And yeah, the rest just move a bit away. He gets in the board with both Longhorn that comes this way to just basically help him to score the middle. And that's basically it. In the magic phase, I get a fly move on a Chariot to move this Chariot a bit away from my shooting. Get our target on this Chariot, I guess. That's it. My turn 4. I move the Overlord in front of the brick to get it. I try to put 3 scoring units in the middle, saying if I kill one, he has only 3, so I can at least die this round. And then we will see. Yeah, I got rid with shooting, got rid of this Pumbaa, yeah, on my turn 3, exactly. So I was thinking if I get rid of this one, I can tie up at least in turn 4, and then 5 and 6 try to win it. So there's still a path to victory on the secondary, or at least to draw on the secondary. That's what I tried. There's no way you can fit in the middle, and so on. Magic phase, I got a breast weapon and shooting and everything on the wild on, and I leave 1 alive, which is worst case scenario. But I think here I'm punished for the mistakes that I did earlier regarding secondary objectives, so nothing here to complain about. Yeah, Overlord, I think I went in front, he reform, chaff me, moves with force going in the middle, so he's winning on the ground, and he pushed the giant with the right to avoid me, basically multi-charging those guys. So he wants to avoid the Titan in this fight, which makes sense. So he pushed with the giant to chaff me, and the second giant is ready to counter-charge. He leaves me with an overrun on the 9, which surprised me a bit. I think it was avoidable. Could have angled this guy a bit here and bring these guys a bit more here in the middle. I think it was definitely doable. So I was a bit surprised that he didn't do it. So, and he has the incendiary token, meaning I have good chance of going through, overrunning maybe. Even if he charged me, I think I can potentially hit more points here on the right with the Titan. So at least that's that. In his magic phase, he gets Stone Skin on his big brick, making it impossible for me to engage, more or less. He also casts Fearless on those guys. What else? Yeah, that's it for this turn. My turn. I don't need really to engage here because the center is already lost. So here I charge the giant, trying to get the overrun, charge with the bull, position my rocket to shoot. That's pretty much it. In the magic phase, I get press weapon to kill the last wild horn. And then I kill some of the long horn to try to force panic check on the general unit. That is going to pass, no problem. And yeah, then close combat, I managed to do 3 wounds to him. I had like 6 attack on the 3+, and then 3+ rerollable. So yeah, I think it's quite nice stat. He was on strength 5 only. He managed to do 1 wound to me. I managed to do 3 wounds to him, and he sticks on a 6. So this was disappointing because now he has a counter charge. I don't have an overrun and so on. His turn, he counter charge, gets the charge, gets those guys to chaff me. Here we're still stuck in combat. I think he gave me maybe a champion, passes steadfast. That's it. Magic phase, I binding scroll the CC debuff to avoid the Titan basically needing to hit on force. I want to hit on 3+. He heals the giant that lost some wounds. And also I don't have incendiary token anymore, so it's going to be an issue. And yeah, here on the left, this time I break him, run him down. Here we're going to, I'm going to stick, I'm going to lose by a little. I think got like a 7 rollable and pass it, that's it. My turn 6, we're stuck in combat. As you can see, I have 3 wounds left. We're stuck, I kill a chariot in the meantime with shooting. I'm not going to charge because I want to get the protection. I don't want to get an heavily combo charge on the last round, breaking my big bricks, so I don't take risk here. I keep them in the front. Just going to shoot at the brick of the general, try to force another panic check. You never know. He has no discipline in this unit. Close combat, I get +1 ward save on the Titan just in case. Now he's only strength 5, so that should be fine for me. And I'm going to win combat, do some wounds, win combat by 3. Got 2 tests on a 6 non-rollable. He passes 1, fail 1. Meaning still stuck. So 1 flea is going to rally next round, and I'm going to get 0 point, basically not kill the other one. So yeah, quite annoying the development here on the right. I expected much more from those combats. And he passed the last panic check on the shooting. We ended up being a 10-10. I win 13. I kill plenty of stuff, but not enough to win more. And he killed only 1 slave. So it's a 10-10 at the end of the battle because he won all the ground. Happy to start. I struggled to get scoring in the scoring zone with so many threats. I think here a couple of things that I already pointed out, but first the lack of knowledge of the matchup was definitely one factor, not allowing me to be more ballsy or take more risks because I didn't know if it was okay or not. Looking back at the picture, I think the turn 2 and 1 were pretty easy decision. I think I could have pushed the Bastion much more than that. Turn 2 definitely, turn 1 also a bit more. think was doable to push a bit more the Bastion. I also wanted to avoid the overrun from the Chariot and so on, so it was not easy to do. But yeah, I struggled a bit. I think turn 2 definitely made some mistake to not claim the center, or I have at least 2 scoring units on the middle. So I definitely not played the perfect part on the secondary objective, and this cost a lot of points at the end. Besides, yeah, the strategy to sacrifice unit to secure the center, and it did that really good. Didn't really understand the multi-charge and overrun stuff, but yeah, didn't cost him too much, but definitely the traffic jam was a bit of a mess turn 2. I didn't took advantage the best way. I think that's my second mistake. Turn 2, I should have charged the 2 chaff. There is a good chance that one of them failed the terror check, and if he does, could open for me plenty of opportunity, especially with the left Kalim Titan. So I think here that was, again, a wrong decision making. And yeah, then turn 3, I could have stayed on the center a bit more as well. So yeah, plenty of stuff that I didn't do perfectly, and at the end it cost me a lot of points and cost me basically the big win I expected on the matchup. Only getting a 10 was a disappointment in this matchup. Okay, yeah, and I think also as well I didn't use my chaff enough. Still have the second unit of Slave alive. I have the small Conjurer with Ranger Boots that wasn't used. That also could have been a decent piece of chaff. So that was also something that I could have done better. But my opponent, my colleague, did much better than me. We have a couple of big wins. Andy validating his positive matchup. We have our Sovereign Enchant that did a great performance in a difficult matchup, winning 16. Then we have our Warrior of the Dark God that also got a win on an equal matchup. So that was 3 big wins. Then we got the 2, 10, and a 7 on Coco against Max, which was not an easy matchup on the center. And we got a very good win close to the cap. The cap is at 80 and we got 74. So definitely very happy with the result against one of the main competitors for the event. Already placed us on we're on the top table at this point of time, and gives basically plenty of confidence because we knew it was an important matchup, and to win it that way was definitely a show of our strengths. This year we have a good meta and it worked quite well, so really happy, and thanks to my colleague that performed better than me. I expected more from this match and was a bit frustrated to not do better than that, but plenty of things to learn from, and that's already also something very interesting, especially when you do battle reports. Guys, that's all for this battle report. Thanks a lot for watching, and talk to you soon for the game number 4. Bye.